What's up, Birdie Up? In this video, we'll be talking about the Genesis Invitational, one and done picks and DFS Tournament Picks. We're going to take you through a course preview as well as look at the weather for this weekend's tournament. We're going to look at the last 5 champions as well as look at the top 10 leaderboard from last year's tournament. And then we're going to get into the one and done picks, recapping last weekend's picks, and then get into this week's picks. And then finally, we're going to give you some tournament picks for your daily fantasy contest. So hit that like button, subscribe, and without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so like I said in the intro, we'll be going over the Genesis Invitational, one and done picks, and DFS Tournament Picks. So let's just get right into it. First, a course preview for the Riviera Country Club, sounds so nice, down in Pacific Palisades, California. It's in Los Angeles County. The course opened in 1926 by designers George C. Thomas and William P. Bell. The course is sitting at currently 7,322 yards. It's a par 71, so that features the typical 4 par 3s, 12 par 4s, and 3 par 5s. The course driving is going to be really important here, and you want to make sure that you stay below the hole on the greens, and it honestly has one of the best layouts on tour. The par 5s are gettable, but then the par 4s are some of the toughest on the tour. We're probably going to be having someone who's really good ball striker and all-around good player win this tournament. It's a great course, it really is. The par 3 fifth hole was quoted as being the best par 3 in America by Ben Hogan, and for those who don't know, Ben Hogan, 4th all-time on the wins list. He won at Riviera for the US Open, or the LA Open, in 1942, 47, and 48, and then also at the US Open in 1948 at Riviera. So looking forward to seeing that hole being played. The cut is going to be after 36 holes, back to normal, one course, after last week at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, which featured the 3 different courses in rotation. The Riviera Country Club is going to be host to the 2028 Olympics, so it comes with a lot of prestige, and it features Poana greens, Kikuyu fairways. I just like saying that, that's why I put it in the presentation for you guys. And then it is an invitational, this tournament, so that means that we're going to be having a great field of players. So pretty exciting stuff for all of us golf fans out there. So now that I did a little bit of course preview, I wanted to take a look at what the weather is going to be for this weekend's tournament. We're looking at very good weather. I accidentally, looks like, copied over the metric, so you guys are going to have to help me out on that. And it says sunny, mostly sunny. It's sunny here in Northern California in the Bay Area, so I know in LA it's going to be just fine. Kilometers per hour, couldn't tell you. No rain expected, but sunny. I can expect that actually those temperatures are probably, if I remember from math and science in school, so you guys can all make fun of me if you guys are international folks out there for this. So anyways, moving right along, looks like it's going to be mostly sunny and sunny. Probably not too much wind either, compared to Pebble Beach, which was really windy, but that's more along the coast, so I'm sure the weather's going to be just fine. Alright, so now I wanted to take a look at the last 5 champions for the Genesis Invitational here at Riviera Country Club. In 2019, JB Holmes finished with a 4-day total of 270 or 14 under par. JB Holmes is currently 92nd in the world golf rankings. Most recently, he's had 3 straight top 16s at the AT&T, the Waste Management, and the Farmers Open. Bubba Watson in 2018 finished with a 4-day total of 272 or 12 under par. Bubba Watson currently 45th in the world golf rankings. Is playing really well this year. He finished tied for 3rd at the Phoenix Open and then tied for 6th at the Farmers Open. Pictured here is Dustin Johnson in 2017. Finished with a 4-day total of 267 or 17 under par. I mentioned last week on last week's video that a couple of the Birdie Up guys were going down for the Thursday round, in which we followed Dustin Johnson and Jordan Spieth for a little while. Also playing with them was Jaco and the country music singer, and Wayne Gretzky, the great one. Seeing them play and hit and the crowds, it was pretty awesome. That was actually my first live event going seeing, believe it or not, so it was really cool to see him. He was playing really well, except he just had a bad finish on Sunday. Currently 5th in the world golf rankings, finished tied for 32nd at the AT&T after dropping 25 spots after Sunday's round. The course, the Spyglass Hill, was amazing, and seeing all of the celebrities and all the pros out there, it seemed like that was where most of the top guys were. Started on Spyglass and then moved to Monterey Peninsula for the Friday's round, and then got to play Pebble Beach Saturday and then Sunday if they made the cut. Bubba Watson once again in 2016 won with a 4-day total of 269 or 15 under par. And then surprisingly, James Hahn, a little surprising. I give credit where credit's due. It's tough to win on tour. 2015 finished with a 4-day total of 278 or 6 under par. Hahn is currently 768th in the world golf rankings, and so far this season he's missed the cut 3 out of 4 events, and he had a tied for 25th finish at the Waste Management. So now that I looked at the last 5 champions here at Riviera, I just wanted to take a look at last year's top 10 leaderboard. So JB Holmes, already mentioned him. He was able to beat out Justin Thomas, currently 4th in the world golf rankings, finished tied for 3rd at the Waste Management. We know he won the Tournament of Champions to start the season, and currently number 1 in points in the FedEx Cup. After him is Siwoo Kim, South Korean, currently 122nd in the world golf rankings. Missed the cut last week at the AT&T. After him is Mark Leishman. Mark Leishman, the Australian, currently 19th in the world golf rankings after his win at the Farmers Insurance Open. Hasn't played, probably taking some time off to do some surfing and watch some Aussie rules football. Reading these player profiles on PGAtour.com sometimes is very interesting to see like what some of these guys are really into. So Mark Leishman, typical Australian guy. I like that though. That's Aussie rules football is really interesting with all the kicking. They would all make really good punters in the NFL, in my opinion. And then after him is Rory McIlroy, current number 1 in the world, overtook Brooks Koepka from Northern Ireland, finished tied for 3rd at the Farmers. After him is Charles Howell III, currently 67th in the world golf rankings. Most recently he had a miscut at the American Express. After him is Michael Thompson. Michael Thompson, currently 236th in the world golf rankings. Currently has 3 straight missed cuts. little note on Michael Thompson, if you go and look on his player profile, or if you search for him on PGAtour.com, it always comes up with like an error, other extra profile, so then you have to go to players and then find him underneath his name and then click it there rather than searching it. So just kind of a little annoying, because he seems to like, keep making these top 10 leaderboards and I keep mentioning him, and then when I go to find him in the player, on his player profile page, it's always got this annoying glitch that they have. After Michael Thompson is Adam Scott, also from Australia, currently 14th in the world golf rankings. This is his first start. Last year, he led after 36 holes here. So, really good player. Might mention him later, might not. But yeah, he's now officially getting his season started. After him was Hideki Matsuyama from Japan, currently 23rd in the world golf rankings, finished tied for 16th at the Waste Management. Next is Carlos Ortiz from Mexico, currently 150th in the world golf rankings, finished tied for 25th at the Waste Management. After him is Dustin Johnson, or already talked to him about him a little bit and how we got a chance to follow him in the tournament. He's a 20-time winner on tour. If you wanted to see, actually, we got a really great shot on Thursday. We literally arrived as just after they had teed off at Spyglass, and then walked down the hill to the first green, and got a great shot of him chipping up onto the green that you can see on our Instagram page at BirdieUpGolf as well, if you are on there, and Facebook.com. After him is Kelly Craft, currently 282nd in the world golf rankings, from Texas. He only plays a handful of events every single year. After him is John Rahm, just rounding out this top 10 leaderboard. Currently 3rd in the world golf rankings, from Spain, finished 2nd in the Farmers, and then tied for 9th at the Waste Management. And lastly, Vaughn Taylor, currently 109th in the world golf rankings. Most recently, he missed the cut at the Waste Management and at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. So just looking at the leaderboard, we see a lot of big name golfers, top names in the world, and then we also see some other names sprinkled in there from kind of all over in the world rankings, at least. So I think we're going to be focusing a little bit more on some of the better names, considering that this field includes a lot of the top golfers in the world. So next, I wanted to get into the one and done, recapping last weekend's picks and then getting into this weekend's picks. So our selection for the Pebble Beach Pro-Am was Matt Kuchar. Matt Kuchar, he finished tied for 38th, which was a little unfortunate, actually, that he didn't have a better finish. A lot of golfers on Sunday and over the weekend, for that matter, when the wind kicked up, just like we predicted there on the coast, had a tough time. So admittedly, a lot of guys were putting up some bigger numbers than we typically see, but when the conditions get tough, then that can happen. And then, of course, you got to add in the factor of they're playing with amateurs and celebrities, and it's a slow play, and there's little big crowds, and yada yada yada. But he dropped 18 spots on Sunday, so it would have been a top 20, dropped down to tied for 38th. So he banked us $28,561 and brings our season total up to $1,674,843. And we are sitting in 322nd place out of 2,832. Or in the 11.37th percentile. So dropped down just slightly, but we knew that was going to happen. The cool thing was that Matt Kuchar, I believe, was like 10th or 9th most owned golfer, so we were able to get quality pick through the cut and not have him be one of the chalkiest plays, which we've had some trouble so far differentiating. But now that this is, I believe now the sixth tournament of the season, we're going to start to see some differentiation as more and more guys have been used up that we haven't used, so it starts to get a little bit more interesting. So this is tournament 6 out of 36, the Genesis Invitational, still in segment 1 of 4, and this is the largest purse so far this season, or the second largest purse in segment 1. We got the World Golf Championship in Mexico coming up in a few weeks, so or maybe even sooner than that, excuse me, but yeah, now that the purses are getting larger, you start seeing that the fields start getting a lot more competitive, a lot tougher, and so with that in mind, now we're going to have to step up our game a bit in who we're going to select. So the keys to success this week are going to be strokes gained off the tee at Riviera, par 4 scoring, oh, I skipped over there. Green and regulation. We're going to look for guys who are doing well on approach too, so I guess it's mostly strokes gained tee to green. Par 4 scoring, POA putters, and then of course we're going to always look for guys, hopefully, who are showing some good recent form for the one and done, that is, the tournament picks. We can capitalize on some guys who aren't showing recent form with low ownership, so, but for the one and done, we want good recent form. We want less risk. We want guys who are going to for sure make the cut. All of us, also, by the way, you can see it on the camera here. I got a signature after the round at Spyglass. We were able to follow around Phil and Brant Snedeker. Got Phil Mickelson's autograph here, and then later randomly ran into Alex Noren and got his autograph while we were out to dinner, and he was waiting for a table. He took our table. He sat in my seat after we were done. So pretty cool. As you can see that on the camera there. So yeah, I'm a big fan. I'll turn into a little kid once you're out there with the pros. So with all that being said, our one and done picks are going to be Bubba Watson. Bubba Watson, he's had great success here. Mentioned that he won twice in the last 5 years. He won another time before that. So far in 2020, he is 9th in strokes gained off the tee and 14th in strokes gained putting, so he's playing really well. But he's actually going to be our alternate selection. I think that he's going to be pretty popular this week, and rightfully so. And we want to differentiate a little bit. We do want to be able to use him at some point, but this is not going to be the week for us that we're going to go ahead and do it. So considering that we can't choose Bubba Watson, that means that we're going to have to go with somebody else. And that guy is going to be... it's Eldrick. That's right. We're going to go with Tiger Woods this week. I have been, for tournaments and then also in the one and done, hesitant to want to use Tiger, but he is back in good form. He's back in good health. The 82-time winner is going to look for that record-breaking win. We might be on Tiger Watch. Currently 8th in the World Golf ranking, so I like that he's a little bit more competitive amongst the top guys. Finished tied for 9th at the Farmers. He's the host of this weekend's tournament. He gained strokes in all categories, and he's healthy. So we're going to go with Tiger Woods for the Riviera Genesis Invitational for our one and done picks. The cool thing is that we're going to be able to use all these guys at some point during the year, but it's just interesting to try and narrow it down as much as possible and then take some shots with your guy for the week. So now that we're done with the one and done, we're going to get into some DFS tournament picks for your daily fantasy contests. Last week we went with Jordan Spieth, who was able to rally in the 4th round while everybody else was falling to finish inside the top 10, so that was great to see him do that. And then just to reiterate our strategy, we're going with mid-range to high-range guys, so you can try to help differentiate between some of the better picks of the week and capitalizing on the low ownership, and hopefully that they have elite performances, and then you can bank on the fact that less golfers or less folks are using them, and then you can hopefully take down one of these tournaments. So, with all that being said, if you want a little bit more strategy on DFS tournaments, then there's a lot of good resources out there. In the last video for the AT&T, I also mentioned a couple of small different strategies that I like to look at. So go back and give that a watch. And the first DFS tournament pick that we're going to go with is Jason Day, the Australian. Is currently his projected ownership, and this is Draftkings ownership and pricing, sitting at 7.30%, priced at 8.8K. His odds of winning are currently set at 35 to 1. Jason Day currently 38th in the world golf rankings, finished 4th just last week at the AT&T. In 2019, he finished 13th in strokes gained off the tee and 26th in strokes gained total. The next DFS tournament pick is going to be Patrick Reed. Patrick Reed currently has a projected ownership of 11% at a price of 8.6K. His odds of winning are currently sit at 40 to 1. Patrick Reed, currently 13th in the world golf rankings, finished tied for 6th at the Farmers. In 2009, he gained strokes in every single category and was 25th in strokes gained total. And last but not least, our third DFS tournament pick is going to be Abraham Ancer. Abraham Ancer has a projected ownership of 7.60%. His price is 8.2K, and his odds of winning the tournament are sitting at 60 to 1. Ancer from Mexico, currently 29th in the world golf rankings. In 2019, he finished 10th in strokes gained off the tee, and he finished 2nd at the American Express tournament. So Jason Day, Patrick Reed, and Abraham Ancer are going to be our 3 DFS tournament picks for the Genesis Invitational. Alright you guys, so that's going to do it for this week's video, the Genesis Invitational, one and done picks and DFS tournament picks. We took a look at the course preview, the Riviera Country Club, as well as looked at what the weather is going to be for this weekend's tournament. We looked at the last 5 champions, as well as looked at the leaderboard, the top 10 leaderboard from last year's tournament. Then we got into the one and done picks, recapping last weekend's picks, and then gave you this week's picks. And then finally we gave you some tournament picks for your daily fantasy contests. So please hit that like button, subscribe so we can reach out to more golf fans out there, and good luck to you in your contest. And we really appreciate your support. Like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Birdie up.